Tyler invests $1,000 at 8% per year in 2011. Okay, so you're given a situation. Somebody invests some amount of money, and they're going to earn some interest, or maybe they spend something at an exponential rate and it would actually decrease. We're given a time at which we start, and the first part of the question asks you to write a formula and clearly define the variables. Let's hear that formula.
A equals 1,000 in parentheses 1 plus 0.08 to the power of t.
Perfect. Okay, so this we call the multiplier. We start with 1, and because we're increasing by 8% per year, we're going to add 0.08. If this thing decreased exponentially at 8% per year, we would subtract, so it would be 1 minus 0.08. This is the original amount, the amount with which we start, and our two variables are A and T. So we have to clearly define the variables. A represents what, Jonathan?
Total amount of money that's going to be earned.
Okay. So total or final amount. Great. This, the 1,000, is the original amount. That's not a variable quantity. It stays at 1,000. It's given in the problem. The other variable is T, and be specific. Okay, my advice when you're defining the variables, if you say T equals time, it's wrong. Yeah, it does represent time, but it's not specific enough. Pretend somebody didn't read the original question. Okay, when you're defining the variables, pretend the person who's reading what you're writing did not get to read the original question. And when they get T equals 20, they have to know what that actually means. So T equals what?
You said past tense original investment date.
But give me some specifics.
Years that have passed since 2011.
Wonderful. Number of years that have passed or since 2011. All right, so we're very specific. It is time, but more specifically it's measured in years. More specifically, years since 2011. Okay, so you will write a formula like that, and you will use that formula to solve a couple other questions. One where you're given an amount and you solve for time, and the other one where you're given a value for time and you solve for the amount. So, question 2 then. That was number 1. Question 2 then says, what or how much is the investment worth in 2020? We make it past 2012 all the way to 2020, and how much is the investment worth? The common mistake is people take 2020 and substitute it in for T. Not going to work. Okay, Jonathan, help me out.
So it's A equals 1,000 in parentheses 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 9.
To the power of 9. Great. So notice how Jonathan recognized in 2020, that is 9 years since 2011. Wonderful. So you would raise this to the 9, multiply by 1,000, and get some value. Did anybody do that?
I got approximately $1,999.
Sounds good to me. All right. And the third part asks, let's say, when is the investment worth $3,000? How long will it take Tyler to triple her money if she has invested it at 8%? How would I set this up? Megan?
3,000 equals 1,000 times 1.08 to the t.
Great. So, real common mistake at this point is people didn't know how to solve for t. And maybe because they weren't doing the log's essential standard, they didn't think, oh, I need to take the log of both sides. But you do. You're going to divide both sides by 1,000. And at that point, we're going to take the log of both sides so that, as Brianna said, we can move the exponent down as a coefficient. So here we go, 2 steps in 1. We're going to have log of 3 on the left, and we're going to have t times log of 1.08 on the right. At that point, you can divide both sides by log of 1.08. And end up with t is log of 3 divided by log of 1.08. And hopefully we have a calculator.
I got 0.0334. Wait, never mind.
I got
Just never mind.
1.95.
I did it wrong.
1.95,
Well, after 11 years,
right?
So I got 14. I'm sorry. I just didn't put log 3 in for some reason.
alright, I think that's going to be better. So, if t equals 14, but maybe, no, if it got up to 2,000 in 11 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14.
Alright, wow, good investment. Okay, so t equals 14, don't leave it like that. What does that mean?
Time, number of years since.
So, if you don't know if you're answering correctly, use a complete sentence. Tyler's investment will be worth $3,000 in
2025.
2025. So a complete sentence would say Tyler's investment is worth $3,000 in 2025. That's 14 years after 2011. So you have to relate it to your original stuff. Great. Questions?